right, then let's not do it at all. Break down!
It's not what it should be.
Oh, baby, keep my number.
I'm acting like a bitch now.
Yes, you are.
I could not hide the way I felt.
I'm talking about buying you out.
Are you out of your mind?
No.
Ain't got no money.
Picture a beloved Black cinema classic where the real drama was happening off camera and the actors became so consumed by their roles that 3 decades later, fans still refuse to believe they're not a real singing group.
Bird and Big Red were doing some serious acting here.
Cameras ready?
The story I'm about to tell you will shatter everything you thought you knew about the Five Heartbeats. Right now, as we speak, Robert Townsend gets stopped on the street by fans demanding to know when Duck Matthews and the boys are going on tour. They refuse to accept that the Five Heartbeats aren't real musicians. But here's the chilling part. Maybe those fans are seeing something we've all missed. Let me set the stage. In February of 1957, Robert Townsend was born in Chicago, raised by a single mother on the city's west side after his father abandoned the family.
So my mother, we were on welfare, and so, my mother was looking for work, and so she would miss her shows.
Growing up poor, young Robert had no idea he would one day create a film so powerful that it would blur the lines between fiction and reality forever. But before we dive into how this movie nearly destroyed some of its stars, let me tell you about the moment everything changed. In 1987, Townsend had just shocked Hollywood by spending his life savings to create Hollywood Shuffle.
I quit my job. I was working there for 3 years. Hollywood Shuffle, Keenan Ivory Wayans wrote the script with me.
He maxed out every credit card, spent nearly $100,000 of his own money, and turned his financial nightmare into a $5 million success story. That victory should have opened every door in Hollywood. Instead, it painted a target on his back. You see, Hollywood Shuffle had done something unforgivable. It exposed Hollywood's racist casting practices with surgical precision.
Mr. Jones, it's not that I'm not happy working here. It's just that acting allows me to be creative.
Studios would use Townsend's talent, but they'd never give him the resources to create another rebellious masterpiece. The message was crystal clear. Stay in your lane, or we'll make sure you never work again. Fast forward to 1988. And Townsend had developed his next project with comedy genius Keenan Ivory Wayans. They called it The Five Heartbeats, a story about a fictional singing group inspired by the Temptations and the Dells.
Then let's not do it at all. Break down!
He wanted to make a movie with 5 Black men who actually worked together, performed together.
Warner Brothers took one look at this script about Black musicians navigating the industry's exploitation and said, absolutely not. They passed completely. Here's where the story gets twisted. Wayans was supposed to play JT.
Keenan was going to play JT originally, and then Keenan got in Living Color.
The womanizing brother character. When Warner rejected the project, Wayans got the opportunity to create In Living Color instead and abandoned the film entirely.
Serves to be holistic, taken from the Latin word jalapeno.
This left Townsend scrambling to recast his own brother's role, and that decision would create relationships so intense they're still affecting these men's lives today. But the casting drama was just beginning. When 20th Century Fox finally agreed to finance the film in 1990, Townsend had his heart set on one actor for the troubled lead singer, Eddie King Jr., Denzel Washington.
Denzel was going to be my first choice to be Eddie King Jr., but then when Michael came in and I met with Michael.
Imagine Denzel portraying a character spiraling into drug addiction and self-destruction. The studio was interested, but budget constraints crushed that dream. Enter Michael Wright. Born April 30th, 1956 in New York City. Wright's path to the role reads like a seduction story. He wasn't discovered through traditional auditions. This man literally charmed his way into cinematic history. Wright was at his mother's restaurant called Jezebel, when Townsend happened to dine there one evening. After dinner, Wright invited Townsend to his apartment and showed him a film he'd done in Japan called Bedtime Lies.
It's 200 yen for the lady.
Townsend was so mesmerized, he declared, "Mike, this is the most amazing acting I've ever seen." At the time, Wright was an established actor with credits in The Wanderers,
Sharp. Now, them white boys here, they's getting obstreperous. Obstreperous?
Streamers,
In 10 days, I ain't been happy one day, mister. That's a lot of misery back to back in this old boy.
and the V television series.
Because you've got contacts on the street.
Damn right I do. Well, listen, Brother Benjamin, ain't you the one that's always putting down the streets?
Yeah.
He had married Metzi Lau in 1994, and they had a child together.
Wright seemed like the perfect choice. But there was something about his ability to portray Eddie King's addiction and personal demons that felt too authentic, too real. We'll come back to why that authenticity would later become Wright's curse. Meanwhile, the search for J.T. Matthews led to one of the most seductive casting stories in film history. Leon Robinson, born March 8, 1962, in New York City, had already gained notoriety for appearing in Madonna's controversial Like a Prayer music video in 1989, where he played a Christ-like figure. When Leon walked into the audition, Townsend said the women in the office started screaming, "He's here, he's here!" But here's the part that will blow your mind. Townsend pulled Leon aside and started talking to him like a pimp, as Leon himself describes it. Townsend said, "I see you as a black matinee idol. I see you as a guy that women will come to see whatever you're in." Leon's response, I'm in. This manipulation worked so well that Leon became completely devoted to Townsend, a loyalty that would last decades. Harry J. Lennox, born November 16, 1964, in Chicago, rounded out the core group as Terrence Dresser Williams. Lennox was the youngest of 4 siblings, raised by a single mother after his father died when he was just 2 years old. He had initially studied to become a Dominican priest before discovering acting at Northwestern University. His character represented stability and moral grounding. Tico Wells, born March 5, 1961, in Philadelphia, completed the group as Anthony Choirboy Stone. Wells had been building his career since 1983, appearing in shows like The Cosby Show.
How you doing? How you doing? I'm Theo, Denise's brother, and this is Robert. We heard you were coming over.
And 227. His character struggled between his father's religious expectations and his dreams of secular stardom. Now here's where this story takes a dark turn. Townsend was harboring a humiliating secret that could have destroyed the entire production. The man directing a film about a singing and dancing group couldn't dance to save his life. For the entire shoot, Townsend had to hide his complete lack of rhythm while directing complex choreography sequences. He later confessed, "I've got the scars to prove it." Imagine the psychological pressure of directing dance numbers when you can't even manage a simple 2-step. But this embarrassing secret was nothing compared to his next decision. Townsend made the insane choice to shoot the entire movie in reverse chronological order. The very first scene they filmed was Eddie's emotional return to church at the end of the film. Michael Wright had to channel decades of pain, addiction, redemption, and spiritual awakening without having filmed any of the journey that led his character to that breaking point.
I'm finding some decent material.
This reverse filming technique created a psychological experiment that none of them understood at the time. The actors were living their characters' endings before understanding their beginnings, and this mental manipulation would have lasting effects on their real lives. During production, studio executives constantly battled with Townsend over budget constraints. The film had an $8.7 million budget, and a Bond company executive was stationed on set as a constant reminder to stay on time and within financial limits.
Townsend had to fight for every scene that dealt with real issues facing Black artists.
I've been working every day. I've been working real hard.
Studios wanted to remove scenes dealing with racism. They wanted to eliminate the church sequences.
I want to reaffirm our faith that God is alive.
They wanted to sanitize the story until it became another feel-good musical without substance. Townsend refused every compromise, but the constant battles took their toll on everyone involved.
And the more you see, the ignorant brother on TV or some stupid stuff, then, you dumb everybody down and everybody keeps.
As filming progressed, something strange began happening. The line between the actors and their characters started blurring in ways that would affect their lives for decades.
What about my books? What you want to talk about?
Leon Robinson began embodying JT's charm and romantic complications. His future would include a high-profile relationship with Cynthia Bailey from Real Housewives of Atlanta, with whom he had a daughter, Noelle, in November 1999. That relationship would end, and Leon would later marry Kirby Wallace in 2017. His romantic life seemed to mirror his character's womanizing ways, though in a more mature, evolved form.
It wasn't no accident. That's why we came to talk to you.
Harry Lennox channeled Dresser's stability into his real life. He would go on to marry business executive Jenna Graves in 2009. Building a solid 15-year marriage without children. His character's grounded nature became his actual personality. But Tico Wells embraced Choir Boy's spiritual side, becoming a plant-based vegan in 1984 and studying natural healing since 1981. He would later start a health company called Thriving Wellness, selling nutritional products and promoting spiritual wellness. But Michael Wright's connection to Eddie King would prove most dangerous of all.
The documentary is a roller coaster ride because a lot of people thought the movie was a big hit. The movie flopped at the box office.
When The Five Heartbeats premiered on March 29, 1991, the industry's response was devastating. Despite positive audience reactions,
when The Five Heartbeats came out, the movie bombed at the box office.
Critics called it amateurish and well-intentioned but poorly executed. The film grossed only $8.5 million in its first 7 weeks, playing in just 862 theaters. Roger Ebert praised Townsend's talent, but criticized the film's structure. The studio barely promoted it, and it quickly disappeared from mainstream consciousness. For the cast, this failure felt personal, and their reactions would define the next 3 decades of their lives. But here's where the story gets really dark. While the film was dying in theaters, something magical was happening in homes across America. When it became available on VHS, families embraced it with a passion that surprised everyone. It became the movie people watched during holidays, the comfort film that brought families together. The same critics who had dismissed it were now calling it Townsend's masterpiece. But for some cast members, this vindication came too late.
Almost came to blows. They really, because Michael was being so drunk and so disrespectful.
Michael Wright's ability to portray addiction and personal demons hadn't been acting. It was a prophecy. Over 20 years after the film's release in 2012, Wright found himself in headlines when he crashed his Rolls-Royce directly into a police car in Manhattan. The incident raised serious questions about whether his on-screen struggles had become his off-screen reality.
Captain Gump.
Sources close to Wright revealed that his uncanny ability to portray troubled characters came from a deeply personal place. The method acting had gone too deep, and life was imitating art in the most tragic way possible. Meanwhile, the other cast members' careers took vastly different trajectories. Leon Robinson went on to earn critical acclaim portraying other musical legends, including David Ruffin in the Temptations miniseries and Little Richard in a biographical film. He became the lead vocalist for the band Leon and the Peoples and recently appeared in shows like The Chi,
Alonzo Daniels Lafayette.
What I need a lawyer for?
and City on a Hill. Harry Lennox's career exploded after The Five Heartbeats. He landed major roles in the Matrix trilogy.
The machines are tunneling to avoid our defense system, but I believe that they're going to intersect certain pipelines in order to control them.
Man of Steel.
I've been given orders to hand you over to him.
Do what you have to do, General.
Batman vs. Superman.
Sure you know Darkseid is not finished with Earth. The anti-life equation is here somewhere.
And most notably as Harold Cooper in all 218 episodes of The Blacklist, which ran for 10 seasons from 2013 to 2023.
I'm already older than that, but then again, I run a task force that doesn't exist.
He's currently nominated for a 2025 Tony Award for his role in the Broadway play Purpose.
Forward to this for a very long time.
Me too.
You know, it's funny. I would have thought you would never become a cop.
But perhaps the most shocking revelation came recently when actor Hawthorne James, who played the villainous Big Red, broke his silence about being completely shut out by Robert Townsend after the film. In a heartbreaking interview, James revealed, "I am forever grateful to Robert Townsend, but I've never worked with Robert since, and that hurts. 30-some years and never having worked with him again, it hurts."
James continued, "You would think that something. I don't expect him to give me a job, but it sure would be nice for him to appreciate the talent and at least say, come and audition. You know my talent. If you want me to audition, no problem. But 30-some years? It hurts." This revelation exposes a disturbing reality about the brotherhood the film celebrated. While some cast members remained close, others have been completely abandoned. The family they portrayed on screen was partly performance, partly real, and partly painful. But here's where things get absolutely wild. Remember that infamous scene where Big Red dangles Bird out of a window?
Come on, boy. Bring him here.
Fans have always wondered if this was based on a true story. Townsend revealed that the Dells shared with him that this actually happened to an artist from their generation. A record label executive really did dangle a performer out of a window to intimidate other artists. Rumors suggest it was Jackie Wilson, though Townsend won't confirm who. Eugene Record also reportedly suffered some kind of assault that gives credence to these stories. The music industry's abuse of Black artists wasn't just inspiration, it was documentary footage disguised as fiction. And now we come to the most bizarre part of this entire saga. Fans refuse to accept that the Five Heartbeats aren't real. They stopped Robert Townsend on the street asking about tour dates. They want to know how Duck and JT are doing. Some even call him out on social media. One fan went viral saying, "Don't disrespect us by saying the Five Heartbeats aren't real. Your name is Donald Duck Matthews. You got a trifling brother named JT Matthews that be raw dogging everybody. We got Dresser, Choir Boy, and the all-time Eddie King Jr. Don't start with this y'all wasn't real nonsense." Townsend has spent over 30 years being treated like he's actually Doug Matthews. People approach him asking when the group is reuniting, when they're going on tour, how the other members are doing. Some fans genuinely believe he's been living under an alias as Robert Townsend to hide his true identity as the group's songwriter. Maybe those fans are seeing something the rest of us missed. Maybe the Five Heartbeats did become real, just not in the way anyone expected. Today, the cast's real-life outcomes read like a Greek tragedy mixed with a fairy tale. Robert Townsend, now 67 years old, has built a $5 million net worth, despite Hollywood's attempts to marginalize him. He was married to Sherry Jones from 1990 to 2001, and their daughter Sky Townsend has followed him into entertainment as an actress and singer. Townsend continues creating, recently releasing a documentary called Making the Five Heartbeats that reveals even more behind-the-scenes secrets. He's currently working with Keenen Ivy Wayans on adapting the film into a Broadway musical, bringing the story full circle from screen to stage.
With regrets? Because we haven't finished yet. And then I'll say, dance break. Do what I do.
Michael Wright, now 68 years old, has a net worth of $500,000, the lowest of the main cast. After his divorce from Mitzi Lau in 2000, his life took darker turns, though he continues working steadily in television and film. His recent appearances include Black Lightning,
Because you still have work to do yet.
and he has upcoming projects in Street Justice and Brass Knuckles. Despite being fluent in 5 languages and receiving critical praise, he remains one of Hollywood's most underrated talents. Leon Robinson, now 62 years old, has built a $1.5 million net worth through his diverse career. His marriage to Kirby Wallace in 2017 brought stability after his previous relationship with Cynthia Bailey ended. Beyond acting, he leads the band Leon and the Peoples, and recently appeared in The Chi and A Day to Die.
In a burnt car near Q's body. Now, if they can't pin this on Duda, they're going to find a way to pin this on you.
He's also developing projects that showcase his range as both an actor and musician. Harry J. Lennox, now 60 years old, achieved the highest net worth of the group at $4 million. His marriage to Deanna Graves in 2009 has lasted over 15 years, and they've chosen not to have children. After completing his 10-year run on the blacklist,
the real secrets the other has? What they do with their shadow time?
he's currently starring in the Broadway production Purpose, which earned him a 2025 Tony nomination. He's also working on the upcoming animated film I La Monstro and the faith-based film Destination Heaven. Tico Wells, now 63 years old, remains the most mysterious member of the group. His net worth estimates vary wildly from $500,000 to $16 million, though the higher figure seems unlikely. He's reportedly single with possibly 3 children he keeps completely private. Wells has transformed himself into a successful health entrepreneur through his company Thriving Wellness and recently appeared on The Able Show in 2024, promoting natural healing and spiritual wellness. The film that was supposed to celebrate Black excellence became a complex meditation on art, identity, and the price of authentic storytelling. Some cast members are thriving, others are surviving, and one is still nursing wounds from 30 years of silence. When fans refuse to believe the 5 heartbeats aren't real, they might be recognizing a deeper truth. 5 men really did lose themselves in characters so completely that they became those personas forever. Their real lives became mirrors of their fictional stories. The stable family man stayed stable. The charmer had complex relationships. The troubled artist struggled with real demons. The spiritual one found wellness, and the controlling creative force continued directing narratives decades later. The brotherhood they sang about was real, fractured, healing, and complicated, just like any real family. And maybe that's why people can't let go of the idea that the 5 heartbeats were authentic. In the end, they were more real than fiction, more family than cast, and more legend than movie.